Okay, on this channel I'm not getting as much hate as I'm supposed to get. So here we go. This will be the only comment for the day. You always hit the Philippines as if we are non-existent in gold. Is that all that matters to you? No, I don't think gold matters at all. It's one of my least favorite metals. It's only useful for gold coatings on things and jewelry. Maybe medical purposes, electronics. The reason it keeps getting brought up on other channels is because people want to believe in El Dorado, and they want to believe it's in whatever country they're in, and they invoke nationalism, political ideology, and for some reason throw in a little religion. And I criticize this because this is desperation and stupid. It has nothing to do with the Philippines. It could be anybody. It could be Catholics, Christians, Jewish people. It doesn't matter. Someone trying to make it about anything other than what I'm mentioning in a video about the subject, like you are, it has nothing to do with the gold. I'm making fun of people lying about them being, well, believing in a bullshit story about there's gold in them thar hills. This is something people fall for all of the time. Next, to disprove that it is our Ophir, to disprove that the majority of the original Hebrew, much more so of the tribe of Israel, or his nation is not there. Okay. Your broken English translation isn't working. I'm not trying to be insulting here. Just type stuff in Filipino and say in English. I'm not going to bother using your stupid English language. I don't recommend you use English because English is a very badly done language. I'm not kidding. Just type it out in Filipino and let me translate it. It actually works a lot better. You'd be surprised how good it is. I can't do Filipino to save my life. I'm not sure you understand that. We Americans are not worldly people. If you're in the Philippines, you probably know Spanish, English, and a bunch of other crap. Most people outside of the United States are terrifyingly smart when it comes to languages. I am not one of these people. Alright? Please help me to help you to help me. Just type it out in straight Filipino and say, I'm criticizing you, translate it, and then I'll use the translated version. It's actually easier. It's amazing that an AI like Google's good at this. You guys run Google, don't you? Anyway. The majority of the original Hebrew is from the Hebrew population. The Hebrews did it. It's not from the Philippines. The Filipino languages, the earliest signs of it, are much later than Hebrew. This isn't disputed. You're ignorantly repeating propaganda, and that's all. And no, you're not a lost tribe of Israel. No, there aren't any. I don't believe in any of that anymore. Actually, I don't have any idea at all. I don't know. But I have to point out something else. Maybe we're just having a communication problem. It didn't occur to me that a lot of Filipinos just probably don't understand what the hell I'm saying. Hell, most Americans don't know what I'm saying. Because as you guys say, I bubble. You mean babble. Or Babel. Maybe the bubble, babble, and Babel, a Tower of Babel. Search the Bible, study geography, and listen to current archaeology. Prove things with the basis. I did. I have videos on several channels about the subject. Mostly because YouTube will eventually shut one of the channels down. This makes it less likely because they realize it's not really going to work very well. But I'll get to the point. You're not acknowledging that the Philippine government, the people of the Philippines, archaeologists in the Philippines state flat out that their language is probably not the basis for another language like Hebrew. That's all. I'm just repeating what your own population said. If somebody says, I want you to debunk some idea in Iran about the Iranian population, I'm not going to look up the BBC page first. I'm going to look up the Iranians' opinion of their own population and their own history, because they actually recorded their history too. Why wouldn't I use that? You guys are citing a bunch of people during the Spanish conquest of your country as propping up your own agenda. Why don't you look at the original works? Most of the people who claim to be from the Philippines and are arguing with me won't look up their own history. They won't. You've been told not to. Because you're going to be told that the Spanish created it. Well, then where are you getting your information from? The Spanish. You guys literally cite nothing but archives and sources from the people who took over your country a long time ago. and they lost control over it, and your own population is now achieving the ability, finally, to get your own heritage and history straightened out. And what are you people doing? You're being told to do the same mistakes that were made before. You're repeating history by other people. Okay, well then I look into it, and even it doesn't agree with your agenda. Some of the things you guys cite contradict you. You won't read your own citations. And I'm not taking you people. Most of the people in the Philippines don't believe any of this bullshit you guys are pushing. The people who are doing this are doing divide and conquer in the Philippines. Just like what happened in the United States over the last decade or so. You're just getting it now too. I think you guys, this is a really important point at the 5-minute and 40-second mark. The Philippines is becoming enough of a political and economic force that someone is trying to tear your country apart as soon as possible because you are gaining power. Did it occur to you that you're being lied to? Here's the rule. If you're being told to argue with people in your own country and outside of your country about your history by literally ignoring your history and being told it's being hidden from you, you have just taken the first step to destroying your own country. Full stop. Don't like that answer? Too bad. That happens in every country. Every time a country starts becoming significant, everybody around them starts pulling them apart. You're letting them. You're part of your own destruction. It's not going to affect anybody here in the United States, I hope. Come here and see our gold. You have stuff in the museum. We have Fort Knox with several hundred tons of stuff, apparently. Okay, whoop-de-doo. It's just a useless metal, and we're not on the gold standard. If that is what you want to prove or disprove, we are not some impoverished nation that you think things are happening as according to prophecy. And we are enduring. Okay, prophecy never comes true. These are prophecies you're reading about. They were supposed to come true hundreds or thousands of years ago, and they didn't happen. Don't you get it? We will endure until we'll come into pass. Again, I'm sorry about that. I've been making fun of this because of the broken English and stuff, but the fact is, just post it in your native tongue as best you can and let me do the translation. That way it's my fault if it sounds stupid, because I'll say I'm translating this myself from a foreign language. It's not going to sound good, so don't make fun of the people. And I won't make fun of you. What I'm getting is a bunch of you guys showing up on this channel and the other one, basically screaming at me and yelling, "Dirty, filthy white man." And it makes you look like a bunch of assholes. I also have to state that a lot of you have a major chip on your shoulder or an inferiority complex that is not deserved. You have a country with a full, long, real history you can dig up. Your country's own government is trying to encourage you to learn about it and be proud. And what do? You take a shit on it by posting this kind of crap on the internet or obeying some YouTube channel that's trying to get you twisted around. Any group of people, any entity that tries to divide you against yourself is your enemy. Why can't you learn that? Actually, you did. The majority of people in the Philippines aren't buying this. You might be able to pull a Trump and get this to be the loudest noise heard on the news, but everyone in your country is going to be referencing reality. And if you don't, they're going to ignore you. Religious fanatics do this shit all the time, and they marginalize themselves from society and do it willingly because they want to have that sense of we're a persecuted population when they're not. You cause this problem for yourself. Now, if you want to be part of this weird cult and base it around a YouTube channel, welcome to the club. There are like 50 of these weird cults only existing on YouTube. And if you want to know, there's not very many of you. There usually isn't. There might be a lot, but I can't see very many of you. Next, pouring derision on my other channel at the rate of 100 comments a day, I'm not going to be commenting on anymore. And on this one, I'll probably ignore you guys from now on, just let your comments post. You can have all the arguments you want to in the comment section with each other. You basically show up in mass and post this crap, and that's all you do. That's not accomplishing anything. If anything, you're just making it to where you're wasting time with some random homeless guy in Portland. I am of no interest. You should treat me that way. But again, if you want me to talk to you guys, then we can have a conversation. But the trouble is, I'm actually citing my sources and looking up what you tell me to look up. And when I look it up, I don't find what you say I'm going to find. I find literally what you're saying isn't real. You're not achieving anything here. You're wasting your time and breath and mine. and I'm going to stop letting you waste any of the time I use for people who watch my channel. By the way, nobody really commented much on today. It's going to be a nice boring day on this channel. Let's see what happens when I go to the fan and fecal material channel next.